Alright, so this is the final video of just the Borax experiment series, I'll call it. So, this is what I used. If you're not watching them in order, then you might be a little confused, so you should really watch them in order. So, let me start out with this right here. This is something I found and cleaned up from a drainage ditch. It had acid baths, so it's some kind of either calcite or carbonate material. It looks like some kind of banded calcite. The reason I'm showing you this is because I have two rocks that I did with the borax. So as you can see here, this kind of bluish, cruddy, dry rock. All right. So over here, this one I'll show you first because that's the same exact rock that I have that I just showed you, and you can see the bluish parts are that bluish cruddy part, but it looks really nice under the crystallization. Now I haven't figured out yet. I thought it might be because of the air. I'm not sure. While you can see over here it's like nice and clear with slight white. There is a big section of white, and then there is more nice and clear, and then over here it's kind of white. I don't know why that happens. I'd rather have it clear. I don't mind this one because I like a little bit of that white quartzy snow look. See, when I zoom it in up close, it doesn't look as bad as when it's like out here. It's like, wait, that doesn't look so good. But when you see it up close, you can see the grooves and nicks and crannies and everything. So it looked good. So I think this rock came out excellent. There you can see the banded part still showing through. This part in here is really cool. And there's some more nooks and crannies. And then on this side you can see, and this was another acid bath as well. So I think this rock came out really nice. Again, if I pull it away, even to my naked eye, it looks really white in some spots. But when you see it up close, you can kind of see how nice and clear it is. So this one came out really good, and that's on a banded calcite. This is another banded calcite, but it was a lot of sand. I don't think there's any where you can really see. So anything brown in there is like crystallized sand. Now this one came out pretty much just white. So I might give this away. My little nephew might think this is really cool. Not sure why it came out all white like that. And on the bottom, it didn't hold all that well. I sat them both down. This one I sat with a little piece of copper underneath it just to kind of hold it off the ground. It was no big deal. This one I sat right in the bottom, even though if you're not familiar or not familiar with borax, it will crystallize the whole bowl to about a 1/4 inch thick. So this one I just laid flat in the porcelain pan that I used in the other videos. You can see it like that old school 1800s like stovetop porcelain or whatever. It didn't stick to the bottom at all. And I love this one. I think this one came out really, really nice. So you might want to do stuff like that. Now let's see. Let's go over to some of the shapes. I'll leave my favorite one for last. So I started playing around with these pipe cleaners, and this is just like a circle. I think that looks pretty nice. All right, you can see it's kind of thick, that right? And I made a giant heart just to see what it would look like. And again, it came out really white. Although it probably looks whiter because the pipe cleaner. Hold on one second, my camera's not focusing now. So there you go. So the pipe cleaner probably makes it look more white than it is. I mean, I don't know how that came out so white like that, but that's nuts. And then I made a nice little perfect little heart. I made some of these things for the kids. So this is going to go to the little girl downstairs. Hopefully she'll learn to pick up her garbage, right? And this is something I fooled around with. Ankh from Egypt, right? So that looks cool. Let me see if I can get a better thing here. So I think that came out real nice. So the hearts are a really cool shape. I'm thinking Christmas ornaments. Like that could be like a wreath if you decorate it. These are all glazed. Matter of fact, let me get that before I forget. So I wouldn't recommend this. It does an excellent job. Now how long it lasts, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it will last for years because it's a really good protective sealer. I just had it on hand for a project I was doing with another crystal, a metallic looking crystal. And you can see this says for that. it covered a lot of different things, but the problem is it has that really horrible smell. It takes a few days for the smell to go away from this stuff, and it's a chemical like that you really don't want to use. I'm looking into non-toxic liquid ones that you can just dip in. So I gotta find out which ones they are. I just really did a brief look at it for now. I didn't really get into it, but they are out there. Supposedly they're eco-friendly, made from plants and stuff like that. So we'll see how that works out. Even nail polish is like, that smells horrible. I wouldn't want to put nail polish on, especially if you're kids or anything. You want to teach them the right way. This is just an experiment. Like, when I do my final video, like, so this is going to be borax, then I'm going to do an alum series that I got going on right now. Then I got an ADP crystal series I'm going to do, which is awesome. I think that's going to be the best one. And then copper sulfate. Then I might even fool around with like giant Epsom salt crystals and giant sugar cube crystals, because I saw a couple of people online that did that really great. But what I'll talk about once I get all the series done, I'll take the best of each one and I'll put them in a final homemade crystal series. And I'll talk about stuff that I want to talk about now, like not being able to recycle this or chemicalize that and stuff like that. And what could possibly be done to continue this, at least on my end, because I'm not going to do this again if I can't find things that are recyclable. By me, I can't recycle boxes like this for a while now. It was either buy it in a box or buy it in a one of those bags, I guess a foily, plasticky type bag, and that can't be recycled either. They stopped taking wax boxes over 2 years ago. They only take corrugated. If you don't know what corrugated is, that's this right here, like a shipping box. It's not waxed or anything like anything you find in the store. They will not take these anymore, so they just go into garbage. And I'm big on recycling things that I can only truly be recycled. So I'll go over all that once it's all done, and I see which crystals worked out the best, which were the easiest, which held up the nicest, yada yada yada. All right. So for the kids, I started making some stuff. I'm thinking about pendants, hanging down pendants in their room or on their chest. Made some for the little girls next door. Real quickly, here is something. I don't know if you can see it. It says my name, CHRIS, and I'm extended the S. So what I thought was I had this really good idea, like, hey, I can do my letters individually and then coat them with the spray or the non-toxic stuff that I'll find. And on a nice piece of tile or something, you could do it on wood, or I'm going to do it on tile probably. A nice back tile or something cut to shape. I have saws so I can cut my tile and everything. And then put some glue down or something and glue it. Either glue it or maybe some kind of design with a tack or nails or something. I don't know, to hold it in place. I thought that would be a cool idea. So Christmas ornaments, pendants, stuff you can hang in your car or in your room or whatever like that. You could probably, like the little girl that I'm giving stuff to, there's a few of them in the neighborhood. She's really cool. She's actually fun, silly, sociable, and really, really polite. So she's made stuff for her mom. I'm going to show you here in a second. And then she was talking about maybe some kind of glittery paint or something to paint over it. They're all protected in the coating, so she's probably going to do something like that. I'll show you that here. Here's what she made. She found some rocks outside, and she asked me to do this for her, so she twisted up some stuff. I gave her some stuff. She twisted it and cut it, and then I dipped it for her. So it's going to her mom as some kind of mother and daughter birthday present type thing that she's doing. And her sister's birthday's coming up too, so I think she's giving the heart to her sister, if I'm not sure. I can't remember if that's what she said, because I got a couple other things here too. So that's cool. They're doing stuff for the kids. I made some stuff with copper. So this is a large, thick one. Looks like rock candy, right? But it's not. And the copper twist works out really fine. This one I really like. It's like small and squatty, and that just looks cool as a pendant. Again, she said her sister was wearing hers around. Then I made a nice little skinny one where you can kind of see the copper through it. Sorry if my camera's not focusing all that well. It might not look that great. You might think it looks blurry or waxy. It's not really. It's just my camera. And plus this thing is small. So for instance, it looks good like this. I'll get to that in a second. So I've done the copper. Works out really nice. I'll show you this. Here's another cool design you might think about doing. I made it too long. I would cut the stem down and make this look smaller, but that's cool. The kids said that her and her friends would love that. She thought this looked like a donut, so that's pretty cool. I think you can make this one as a wreath and this as a wreath for Christmas or something, but they're really cool. So it depends on what you like. You can get colored, what are these things called? Pipe cleaners, colored pipe cleaners, white pipe cleaners. I prefer the copper. I like the copper a lot. And, you know, you can do all kinds of things with it. So before I show you this one here, I was messing around with some ideas and then getting what the little girl thought she would like. So she was not so great on that kind of V-shaped heart. She liked that kind of big heart, but she said maybe a little more pointy because it might look like an apple. She loved this thing. She think that would look cool, like hanging down. Let's see. She liked this. What I'm trying to do is making like a pyramid shape. I was even going to do another one on the other side, but I'm just messing around. So next time I might do that. And here's a miniature version. So if you wonder what this is, that's what that is. It's just about 2.5 times the size. So let's see here. You know what this is, and you know what this is. You don't, or do you do? Because you're so into crystals, so you know what it is. So I'm going to try to make a cluster. So it'll look like a natural cluster. Like so, this looks like a natural cluster, but it will be like, you know, where is it? Like this guy right here. So these things will be coming up like points, like quartz points coming up out of it. So I'm thinking that's what this will do. That's a larger one, and that's just a little small one. So I'm going to play around with that. Here's a cross I got to finish. You know, people like crosses, crystal crosses. That would be cool. And she guessed right on this. I said, what do you think this is? And you guys know what this is? That's right. It's Reggae Shark. Watch out for Reggae Shark. So she thought that was really cool. So good stuff you can make with it. Christmas time, pendants, hanging in your car. I really think this heart came out excellent. I'm not much of a crafts person, but I put this together pretty easily and pretty quickly. I love my ankh. I'm going to do one with copper if I can. All right, so now let's just talk to this real quickly here. All right. I probably sprayed this a little bit too much. I'm trying to get a good view here. So this still stayed nice and clear on the top part and inside. And if you notice the bottom, you can sort of see the grid of like I showed you over there, the basket weave. The top or bottom actually is a little bit more on the druzy, quartz druzy crystal side. And what's really cool is this has like these rectangles, some almost like pyramids, and then some just half like triangle shapes. I might have coated a little bit too much. I think I held it a little too close when I did this. You can kind of see a little bit, but it still looks pretty cool. At least I know it's be sealed. Again, when I hold it like this and move it around, you can see it. But I can tell, maybe you can't, but I can tell that I kind of hit it a little bit too heavy, or at least too close with the spray. But the kid thought it was awesome. I can't say her name on camera, but anyway, she's an adorable little girl. She's really cool and very, very polite. So I'll do these again probably, and I'll see what I say on the difference of the glaze. Maybe next time I won't, use so much depending on what kind of new brand I get. So this is a really cool thing because it looks like a cracked geode. I think kids would love this. I asked her, what do you think about your mom or dad having it on like a coffee table or something? She said, oh yeah, they'd love that. So it's a good project to do. Sorry about bouncing the camera around. And I don't want to take up too much time on this video, but you can kind of see for yourself all the different ideas. If you have any other cool ideas that you've done that were real simple and easy, let me know. But I'm thinking like I could see like different colored of these, like gold paint, silver, anything really, and all the other things I made over there. So is borax easy to work with? Yeah, it's simple. Why it comes out white like that sometimes, I don't know. I've left it covered and uncovered when doing this and some of these, and it didn't make a difference. They came out like the same, only that one and that one came out really white. And well, let me see something here. So here's a more clear one, and this is on the white pipe cleaner. But this is on a white pipe cleaner, and it kind of looks really white. So as you can see them side by side. So I'm not sure about that. It's easy to work with. It doesn't really give off any fumes or anything. I opened my kitchen window and my back door open just in case. You just simply boil water, pour it into a safe glass that can handle heat, stir it up. You can keep stirring it until it dissolves. One time I did it, because I did it like 3 times. One time I did it and it didn't work. It came out solidified white and it just wasn't working. I had to redo it. I might have oversaturated it so much, I don't know. So I started looking at recipes. They said about 3 to 4 tablespoons per cup of water. That seemed to be right. I would say more towards 4 tablespoons per cup of water. The first time and the second time I'd done it, I might have even done it 4 times. I don't even know. I just kept mixing it until it was no dissolve. But I noticed the water got a little cloudy to one time, so I might have oversaturated it. And that was the time where, even though it didn't settle to the bottom, but the water was cloudy, it just made a mess of stuff. Like it crystallized so fast, it looked deformed, it didn't look good, so I had to redo it. Other than that, it's really easy to work with. You could probably pick up a box depending on the size. This box is what, 4 pounds, so I think it might have cost like $9-10 a piece, something like that. I think I got a double pack of it online at Walmart, so you can use that. Other than that, it's real simple. Stovetop glass jar, you put it in. I tried it in plastic, it didn't work that well at all, so I would stick with glass. And I think that's it, really. There's just a lot of cool things you can do with it. Again, I think this natural rock looks awesome. This, you might think looks awesome, and I do think it looks awesome. But because I know that I oversprayed it a little bit, I'm not as happy anymore. But it's still really cool. They came out as nice big crystals. And, you know, if you had this in your hand, you'd be able to see the shapes a little bit better. Really, really cool. So once I get these videos done and everything, all the different crystals that I'm going to make, like I said, I'm going to say alum crystals I got going on right now. Then I'm going to do ADP and alum, and ADP on its own. And then I'm going to do copper sulfate. Then after that, I might do the Epsom and everything. Anyway, the bottom line is when I'm done with all that, if I go back and I make this and that other little guy and something else over there, I'll add that in the final video where I line all of them up from the different types of crystal chemical making. And I'll add that in there, like the best of the best, and you know which ones worked out the best, which ones were the easiest, and all that kind of stuff. All right, so I think that's about it. I'm trying to think what else you need to know. Like there's really nothing to know. You just mix it up with a spoon or a whisk. I used a whisk. They use this for laundry detergent. A lot of people will just buy extra bowls and stuff and keep that as their chemical makeup when they make all their crystals. I wash it out really good, rinse it out, and then I throw it in my dishwasher. There's no residue. There's no nothing. So if I occasionally going to use this for food or something, it won't be that big of a deal. You do what you want on that. If you feel like that's not safe enough after 2 washings, then, you know, do what you want to do. And other than that, I think that's it. Yeah, that's about it. It's that simple and that easy, and it's about a 24-hour process. You can do 12 hours, maybe sometimes 24 hours to be safe, and it will probably take you 2 times to do this, which means, you know, you would empty out this mix and get your stuff out of there, let it dry, pat it dry with a towel, let it dry for a few hours before you spray it with any kind of coating to protect it. And anything that's left over there, what you can do is run hot water in there, let it dissolve again. It may not be slushy, it may be hard like crystals. Here, this is what it will look like. So you get like this on the side of your bowls and stuff like that, and at the bottom of your bowls you'll get this. You can dissolve that back and collect it and dissolve it back to make more stuff. So don't throw that away. You can keep that. All right. But when you make something large like this, or if the first time you do this and you say, no, I want it to be like this, there it goes, then you would dump that out, run hot water, dump it down the sink, and then collect the rest of that stuff. You reuse that if you want. remeasure your stuff out, make a brand new batch, and then put this back in. Now, I hung it the first time around. I hung this like this in there, but I decided to do this. So I made myself a little stand like that, and then I just flipped it over like this, and I sat it down on the stand, and that's how I did that. If you notice, this inside has a lot of thick crystals compared to this. This started off with some thick crystals, but then it started to do some druzy like that. You know, if you're not familiar with druzy, it's just tiny, tiny little quartzy type looking stuff. So instead of these big guys, it turns out tiny, tiny. So you can see that triangle right there, like that. That's what these basically are, all tiny, tiny little guys. So I did it like that. You can make yourself a stand. It doesn't really stick to the bottom, but you can see the stand gets coated a little bit like that. So you do that. You would turn this and do a second batch, and it would grow to that size. All right? I think that's about it. If you have any questions, just ask underneath the comments. Otherwise, I think that's really all you need to know. It's that simple when it comes to this stuff. And almost all the crystal stuff that I looked into making, if you're not familiar with the term ADP crystals, look it up. You'll be like, whoa, I'm going to make that. They're all the same. It's the same process on every single one. So just remember that. Same coating process, same amount of time. Although the ADP and stuff, you can grow them larger. These really don't seem to grow much larger after this. They kind of get to this size and that's it. So I wouldn't waste trying a third and fourth batch to make it even larger and larger. It doesn't seem to work. ADP crystals, you could like, let's say real quickly here so you can get excited. You'll grow that, right? It might start out like that size or a little bit littler. You make a new batch of solution in a really bigger container, right? All by itself, and then it grows to this size. And then you do it again with a new batch. And it might take a week, 2 weeks, a month, but you'll get something amazing. Look it up online, ADP crystals. I showed the little girl. She was like, whoa. All right, so I think that's it. I think that's all you need to know. I got to get this ready for the kids for tomorrow, for her and the other girl to pick up. And I think that's it. It's that simple. It's that fun. You can do it as a family. If you do it with kids, be safe with the kids. They can do this. You just don't want to be like leaning over when you're mixing it and breathing it in. Obviously, it's not going to be damaging, but it's just something you don't want to do anyway, like with any household cleaner or whatever it is, right? But the kids could easily do this. Just have the parents pour the hot water in and let the kids mix it or something and set the crystals in. Oh, and by the way, you can use let's show you. So I had some of these pipe cleaners for cleaning glasses, and you can set them in there like that, but I found something I like better. All right, so these are garden stakes for holding plants up. They're like fiberglass. So there. That's how I did it. These are good because you can flex them and bend them to the water if you need to, if you don't make them the right hanging size. So you can use anything. People use pencils or stick of wood or something like that. Whatever you got, just make sure you have something ahead of time so you can put that across the bowl to hang them with. You don't want something too flimsy, so don't use the pipe cleaner itself because that will be too flimsy. This is a pipe cleaner, but it's got a nice sturdy metal thing. It's for cleaning straws out. All right, so that's about it. Let me know if you got any advice for me or anything that you've made that I might want to be interested in, like some kind of design or anything like that. All right, lots of love to you all. Bye-bye.